with all the secrets, the Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam. This is the royal science and the royal secret. Last time we saw in this chapter, Lord Krishna is giving the secret of the whole, the greatest secret, and yet it is so simple and open to one and all. This is how it becomes the greatest secret, because it is so easily available and so open to one and all. That's how it is very difficult to accept. When you don't accept something, it becomes away from you, and it becomes the best secret. And also the world, it so it is a secret. Maya is a secret. So everything is secret. We have made it so impossible. It appears to be the greatest secret. Though it is so simple, so available in all conditions, meaning the absolute truth, the absolute existence, and one who has the truth, he attains it. Attains me, he says. That means Lord Krishna stands for the absolute truth. And one who has got no devotion, he never attains the highest state of existence, and as a result, he goes for transit. He gets bound to come back to the cycle of birth and death of this world. And he also explained, I am the absolute truth, one without a second, and I am all-pervading truth. So, whatever you see or whatever you accept to be, all those exist in me alone, but I am not any way seen in them. Instead of the object, but the reflection is not in the object. The object is in the reflection, but it is not in the reflection, because object is object, reflection. The Lord, the absolute truth, is all-pervading, so He is in every being. And that's how we say Vasudeva. In all beings, He is called Vasudeva, and in whom all these beings abide. Vasam dadati, one who gives shelter to all the objects. In grammar, when we do different sammas, then the meaning differs. So in the very heart, everywhere He is present. So in all beings He abides, and all the beings abide in all-pervading absolute one without a second. So nothing else can exist. So whatever you found, so it cannot exist in the absolute. Just as the shadow cannot exist in the sun, hide in the absolute truth, nor the truth abides in the beings. Ultimate point of view, the world doesn't exist, and alone, the truth alone exists. So that is the greatest secret. And yet we assume to be true. That is to be is the greatest secret, though it is not existing at all, yet it appears to be subvision. Just as the blueness of the sky doesn't exist, but yet it appears to be found, but yet it appears as if there is water, and the ignorant beings, they run after that water and lose their life not to get any drop of water, which appears to be real. So how the unreality, which is not existing at all, appears to be real? That is the secret power of the Absolute. So in the last sloka we had seen Yatha kasastito nityam vayu sarvatra go mahan तथा सर्वाणि भूतानि मत्स्थानि इति upadharaya. All Arjuna, Lord Krishna explains to Arjuna, my dear, just as the sky is all pervading and the sky, but sky is not at all attached to the wind. Wind is not in the sky, not wind. Similarly, all these beings, they appear as if they are in me, but they are not in me. O Arjuna, try to understand this. This is the secret, which is other greater secret can be, or magic or something can be than this. We see what is not there. We see the blueness of the sky which is not there. We see the colors in the rainbow which is not there. We see the sun as if white, but that whiteness is not there. We see the beauty of the evening sky. What is that beauty? Something which appears to be beautiful, which ends in the darkness of the night. All these names and forms of the world and all these beings which are subject to name and fame, name and form. Point. Sarva bhutani kaunteya prakritim yanti mamikam kalpaksha sloka. Lord Krishna explains the same thing little in different way, which he had explained us the last chapter, where he says the creator Brahma, he creates all these beings at the break of the day, and all these beings, they disappear in him at the fall of night. Creatures are created by the Brahma, and then in the end of the day they disappear in him. In this way, every day he goes on creating, and that day of Brahma is thousands of years of the human beings. Arjad Brahmani Sthitam we heard some data of the Brahma's day. thousand yugas a day. Yuga means some 4 eras, and 1000 Brahma, the creator. In this way, all then we people, just like some dust particles seen in the beam of light at the evening sun setting time, fallen in the room through the wind, floating helplessly. Nobody cares for them. So also all these beings, all these creatures of 4 kinds, these are the highest secrets and the reality. What is so difficult for us to accept? We are concerned into our daily, day-to-day routine work, eating, drinking, making merry, unaware of the time, unaware of the truth. Just like the glowworm at night is unaware of the sun. How can he imagine what is called sunlight and what is sun? Similarly, all these beings, and he understands it to its real depth, then he never got bewildered to fight out the battle, and because of Lord's explanation in detail and by his grace, Arjuna fought out the Mahabharata battle, and he occurred no sin, no merits. He was in the battle, and as a result he was not the doer. Just as the puppet or the top dancer, they can walk or move, they cannot the Absolute makes them play and dance. That is what he is trying to explain now to Arjuna, so that Arjuna, you are the audience, don't be entangled in the prakritim yanti mamikam kalpakshay punastani kalpado visrajamyaham. The sayings, O Arjuna, go into my nature at the end of the kalpa. Kalpa, an imaginary kalpa word, is made out of the root kalpana, imagination. Time is nothing but some imaginary fact which differs from person to person. It differs. The UK time is different from UK time. United Kingdom time is different from Uttarakhand time. Here so. Uttarakhand, United Kingdom. Uttarkashi also. In Uttarakhand, Uttarkashi, UK. Yes, yes. So time differs every now and then. We utter that is in time. Every breath we is time. Every thought we think is time. Everything is time. Relativity is time. Two means time. Comparison means time. Everywhere the time is time. The whole universe. No, no. It is not at all. Oh, yes.
Now the logic
Says, explains, Sarva Bhutani Kauntaya Prakriti at the end of the Kalpa, at the end of the day of Brahma, they appear because of force of my nature. What is nature? Nature also is something which is called time also, which is called everything. Nature we have to understand as the fire has the nature of heat and light. Similar, and
solid,
uh,
solid,
coolness and flow, movability, all these are nature of the water, not called wind. It is called sky. If the sky moves, that is called wind. So the nature of the sky is sound, and sound means vibration and movement. In this way, every object will have its qualities and its actions, its expression. Expression is called the nature of the object. It has expression, it does exist, it appears to be something, it will have some area, some value, then it will have some name also. And all these belongs to sound also. The he takes so many different names while changing. So the same sound, the vibratory system is known as wind also. Light, everything is only the movement. Whatever is stagnant, that is the truth. Balanced state is the truth. Imbalanced state is called nature. Just as the nature of the water to vibrate, the ripples of the water. And it is not different from the water, yet it appears to be different as it were. देखो जी.
network
So, love the quality of the nature. So what is nature? When the absolute state of equilibrium starts appearing as, that is, we in our language we call it energy, or some others say it is sound, anything that is called the nature of the absolute truth. So it has to change. That changing phenomena, when we see it clearly, that is called time. Time is nothing but counting. Count we can count when there are two. When one is there, there is no counting. There is no possibility of second, then there is no counting. So there is no time, space, nothing. That is called the absolute truth, which is beyond imagination. And when the imagination, comparison or changing or time, space and conditions, all these together from different angles it appears to be different. And reaction, same action and reaction is nothing but thoughts, and its reaction means the decisions. When two thoughts get together, that is called intellect. In this way, everything changes according to its actions, according to its qualities. We name differently and we see it differently, but the process is the same. That is called nature, the absolute nature. That is, in true sense, the imbalanced state of the absolute balanced state. There is no world, there is no time, no causations, no action, reaction, there is no relativity, no space, time and energy, or nothing is there, no imagination, no imagine. There is no doer, done, and doing process. All the triads are not to be seen there. Little imbalanced state starts that from different angles, and energy, sattva, rajas, tamas, three qualities. Mool way, different people have seen it differently, named it differently, explained it differently. That's the truth is one, but the knower of the truth or the seer of the truth different ways. Expression differs, but experience cannot differ. Will be for everyone, but when one expresses the sweetness of the honey, the language will differ from each other. Phenomena, which is the quality of the absolute, and sarva bhutane beings, they, the nature of the creator creates the creatures. Steady. When I start to walk, oh, his throat is choked. There is no movement. Nothing is understood of the about the starts expressing itself. That is called express, or always something different from creates this changing phenomena, creates the misunderstanding. What just as you run in a, you move, if you stand there steadily, my understanding, or that is called ignorance. This is how all these beings, beings means who have become, that is called being, become. Which is that something? What is that something? How it is visible? Formless is not visible. So, perception, how the formation starts, when the unlimited, just as in the white, whatever you imagine, whatever lines you draw, you limit some area of the paper, name as circle or triangle or square or some digit. This is called 1, this is called 2, 1 or 2 or 3 squares. They are only lines. And those lines have limited line. So the whole world is lined. The nature creates the creatures. as beings, and some of these forms are living beings which are not moving, they are called or sthavar in Sanskrit. Names differ. The being is being, whether it moves or doesn't have become, and all these beings, you can limit a limitless form. So, it is nothing but nature. Movement is nature. In this way, they are subject to my nature. What form you draw on it, your lines are subject to you, the drawer of the lines. Paper has no concern. Truth has no concern. You say there are some creatures have been created in nature. Nothing it before also is unmanifested. What happens according to time of the paper again become the white paper? All the creatures, they are created all in my unmanifested nature. To manifest, it has something should be there, some movement or some changes. This is how Lord explains, Arjuna, my dear, all these creatures, they go to my nature. Kalpakshaye punastani kalpado visrijamyaham. When the end of the day, unmanifested nature, and then again and again they come out and dissolve. Nobody can count how many bubbles are created every day and how many burst. Nobody can count it. And bubbles are not at all there. It appears to be different. And when the bubbles burst, have you gone to the seashore and seen some dry, very light, sponge-like piece is created by, they call the tongue of the ocean. They are very, very useful for medicinal purpose. In it, bubbles are burst, and then all those something foam, अरे नहीं काटेगा यार, डरने से काटेगा, वो क्यों आपको काटेगा? चुप बैठो ना। यार कैसे फंस गया इधर, चला जाएगा। It can create something, some subtle idea. ना अब उसको छेड़ना नहीं, वो बैठेगा भी कुछ नहीं करेगा। ओहो देखो, वो कुछ नहीं करेगा जी, बैठने दो, कुछ नहीं करेगा। So, which is not at all there, which has got no existence, it appears to be just as the tongue of the ocean. Its existence, little something, they get accumulated, and they get accumulated and form the forms of so-called beings. We are these beings. Repetition of one idea, form, that is called a being. So in this way, go into my nature at the end of the kalpa. I send them forth again and again. The inferior one or the lower nature composed of the three qualities, sattva, rajas and tamas. Just as the grass grows from the earth and dries up in the earth, just as the ripples and waves rise from the ocean and disappear in the ocean itself, just as it and melt away in the mind itself when the dreamer comes back to the waking state. So also the beings which arise from nature merge into it during dissolution of is the period of dissolution. Maha Utpatti is the This is how this world appears to be. So Arjuna, don't be bewildered. Don't claim that you are going to kill somebody and you will occur sin. You are not at all able to do anything. You are just a puppet in my hand. Not in my hand, in the hands of the nature. So, you have got enough of nature. Prakritehe kriyamanani, we shall come in this chapter only. We shall see how all these creatures are being created, how they do perform all the actions, how the reaction take place, who does all these drama, who is the director, where he is hidden, we shall discuss. So this is all the highest secret what is explained by the Lord to Arjuna. Tomorrow we shall see the next sloka. Prakriti vasat. All the nature which is I am the holder of my nature. If there is no holder of the heat and light, the basement, the substratum, the cause for the heat and light. Similarly, the existence absolute, the truth absolute, the absolute holder of all these natures, and we have just seen the lower nature. Lower nature means one which is formed by three qualities. You see something, from the other angle it is something else. The one thing appears to be different. So one truth appears to be called Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. And they are the first manifestation. So it is called the lower unmanifested nature, which higher unmanifested is higher unmanifested, and the lower unmanifested or the whiteness of the paper which holds all these colors at the end. So the surface paper is lower unmanifested is the idea of the paper. The existence of paper is the high. The lower unmanifested always manifests everything. So tomorrow I am the holder of my nature, and by the help of my nature, lower all these creatures are helplessly to do. They cannot do anything. The bubble has got nothing to do. Tides again and again. That is called nature of the water. They get a form. In this way, they have nothing to do. They have got no capability. I am the just eyes signal. Creation starts. When I close my eyes, they dissolve. Our NASA people have given us something. Eye of the God in the cosmos. There are stars. They appear in every 3,000 years, just like the form of the eye, and with black round inside the eye and white dot appear for 3,000 years and they disappear. Found out this. They say it is God of the eyes. I just ate for 3,000 years. That is Lord's opening and closing the eyes. I'll see it still more elaborately tomorrow. Of my nature. Under the control of the remote of the child. Purnamidam Purnamadaya Purname Santi. Sadguru ki jai. Mata ki jai.